Hey guys, if you're interested in learning about Instagram, there is no better person than Niklas Pedde. He has made more than $10 million by the age of 23. He's the owner of Instagram University and also Consulting Club. But before that, do remember to hit the like, subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss future updates. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hey man, welcome back to the podcast. Round two, man, round two.
Yes, round number two. The last one was good. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, man, we just came back from France, Cannes, right? The Mastermind Consulting Club. I just want to get into a little bit of that. I want to start with that because it's super important that people know, what inspired you to organize Consulting Club? Yeah. Especially when people know you as the Instagram guy.
Yeah, maybe for those of you who don't know what Consulting Club is, we just had a mastermind. I think 30 or 40 millionaires actually flew to Cannes, all within the coaching, consulting, e-learning industry, where you really some of the top guys there. Ty Lopez was there the whole time. Raul Plicat, founder of Copecard. So many high-level people were there. And your question, what inspired me to start Consulting Club? Man, I think on the one side, entrepreneurship is the most amazing journey that you can go onto, but sometimes it can become a little bit lonely if you aren't in the right circles. And for whatever reason, I always had it for me, it was kind of easy, or it came natural to get to know people. What means to network with them? I don't really like the word networking, but for whatever reason, I've gotten to know so many cool people over the time. And I grew the business. We always exchange information and everything. And, when I built my personal brand, so many people ask me hey, Niklas, how does it work? How can I do this? How can I do this? Can you introduce me to this person? Can you ask, I don't know, this and this guy to show me how this works? And then, at one point I was just coming up with the idea, hey, let's do a mastermind. We should do those events. It's pretty cool. Once a year, we have this exotic location, for Consulting Club this year and last year. We were in France, big villa. It's a $25 million villa or something in the heart of France, right? 45,000 square meters actually of a property with pool and sauna and stuff. And we rent it every year, and then everybody just comes there. We have special guests, as I said, Ty Lopez, Raul, the new owner of JVZoo, Ratzban, for example. You guys, Phil, come in and do talks, and then we invite a bunch of our clients and friends of mine and just have a good time. And it just came naturally.
It's only been around for a year?
1.5 years. Last year we had the first event in August. This year we did it in, September?
Yeah. When I went there, I was I think the most important thing was the networking part. It's getting to meet people. Hey bro, you can do this instead. Hey man, I can help you with this. Give me your number. Get people on my podcast as well, right? So it's I think one of the superpowers in business when you go up is who you know.
For sure. There's the saying, everybody says it, it's so cliche, but your network is your net worth. And I really think it is like this. To give you an example, all of the business deals that I now have and new projects that I'm doing, or even investments, I bought 2 villas in Ras Al Khaimah. I now have a business together with Ty Lopez. I invested into a friend's startup, Raul's startup. He's launching a PR company. It already launched, but he did a friends and family round, and he gave me the opportunity to invest into it, right? It wouldn't be possible if I didn't know those people. So all those cool opportunities that I have now, besides the normal business, all come through the network and the people that I know.
How did you get Ty Lopez to speak at your event?
That's a cool question. So I've been in touch with Ty for quite a long time. I've been, one of his students since 2016. 2019, we met the first time here in Dubai, backstage, actually. He was doing an event with Grant Cardone and Gary Vee. And we, after the event, came talking to him. We exchanged WhatsApps, but then we weren't really in touch. I sent him sometimes a couple of videos and updates on, how the business is doing. I remember back in 2019, we hit $1 million in sales in 45 days. So I sent him a screenshot of that, and I was like, hey, thanks for the help. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. So I think at that point, he already kind of knew my name or something, in the back of his mind. But then in 2023, I was speaking to one of his sales reps, Jeremy, because I wanted to book the 101 private client program with him. I actually paid him $100,000 for it. But part of the deal was that I joined the private client program is that he also comes out to the mastermind to Cannes, and that was last year. And we also paid for the flight and everything. And then beginning of this year, I together with him invested into a business. We bought a company in Norway, a bar, and we're doing some stuff together. And then this year he just came over. We paid for the flight and everything, and
What was the biggest thing you learned from Ty Lopez?
From Ty Lopez, the biggest thing? It's something that he talks about all the time, but he talks about the good life, right? Health, wealth, love, and happiness, and to keep a balance. And I think as an entrepreneur, oftentimes you just go into extremes. You only focus on money or only on this thing. And for me, for example, I, within my journey, had it a lot that for example, for 6 months, I was just hustling, grinding, this, that, working on the business. And then for 3 months doing nothing. That was like a couple of years ago. And then the business crashed. So like keeping the balance, even though it's so obvious, but speaking to him over and over again about different things, how to improve your life, that was big. But there's, I don't know, so many things. I was on a flight. Which flight was it? I think, it was the one when I was in Los Angeles recently on one of Ty's events and met up with him and stuff. And we had dinner. And on the flight back, I just went through all of the calls and like lessons and learnings that I remembered. And I think it's like, 20, 30 pages of notes. So it's a lot. Yeah.
Okay. You're a big fan of Tai Lopez, right?
Yeah, for
same.
Sure.
I love that guy. He's super smart. He talks a lot about psychology and stuff like that. Is there something about what he said about psychology that you really think like, maybe that's true, like in general?
I think when it comes to psychology, there's so many interesting things that he talks about. One is, for example, this quiz that he has that, we use it for hiring, for example, and we basically test for so many different things, but like awareness, or not awareness, but conscientiousness, anxiety, greed avoidance, tests for narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy.
Yeah. You memorized the whole quiz. Huh? You memorized the whole quiz.
Like the results and stuff?
All the components of it. I took it a long time ago, but I can't remember my score anymore. I have to go and take it again.
I started listening to Ty's podcast in 2016, and that's when he was already talking about it. So I listened to a lot of podcasts, and we use those for hiring and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Do you think what do you think about his take on genetics? Do you think it is do you believe that it's 70% genetics and 30% environment?
I guess if he says this, he has very smart mentors. I haven't dived into the topic like super deep and don't have deep knowledge, but he has. So yes, I think so too. And
you think so?
I trust him with him. Trust him with it.
So you think like when he said like success is genetics? You can believe that?
I think yes. When I think about it now, like friends and I, we were talking about it a lot. Because when it comes to the whole business world, right, you meet so many different people and you're like thinking like, hey, what is the difference between those who have it and who don't have it, right? Some just are able to make it. They have common sense, they have awareness, they get it, they build a successful business, and some, for whatever reason, don't, and they just struggle for years and years and years and years and years. And of course, I think a lot is also environment, and you can develop as a person, you can reinvent yourself, you can unlearn things, learn new things, you can become better, etc., etc. But some people just always seem to be stuck, right, and not really get ahead. And maybe, I don't know, but Tai would say it's like a genetics thing. Maybe like he talks about IQ also, right? That based on how high your IQ is, you reach different levels of wealth, right? And he mentioned this too. I don't know if it was in Cannes, France, on the mastermind, but he said that your job, for example, also the job that you have, it's a lot based on IQ. Right, and I don't know, but it makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
What do you think?
I think, I don't know, because like you said, I never really dove into this topic. Like it's very hard for me to look at someone and say, because you're not successful because it's in your genetics. That's a very sad thing to say, like to someone. But like,
I mean, the thing is, not everything is genetics, right? Tai says like 60-70%, and you can change things and like work your way up and everything. But maybe for someone who has, for example, let's take an example who has like a higher IQ. For him, it's maybe easier.
Oh, that one I agree. Yeah, for sure. I mean, even in school, there are people who study really hard and then they still fail. And then there are people that don't study really hard, but they still get good grades because they have a high IQ. They can get things way faster. They know how everything connects. They understand the why everything is happening. So that I agree with. But I think if like you're doomed to fail because of your genetics, I think that's. I don't think so. I mean, if you look at Philip, like before he started entrepreneurship, he like plumbing job, drugs, alcohol. You wouldn't look at the guy and be like, this guy will be successful. But
maybe that's environment, right? The reason why he got into things like this.
Or genetics, which that's the thing. So it's like a debatable topic. And I also asked Tai about Philip. I said, then when you look at Philip like a few years ago, you wouldn't say that he was destined to succeed. But then if you look at him now, it's very easy. It's genetics. So then he said, but there's also the 30% of environment. And then there's a portion of people, he said, that are able to hack their own brain and rewire themselves. And he said that is not what a lot of people can do. And that is why he teaches like frameworks to success and stuff like that. So it makes you reprogram your mind. And he said not everyone will be able to do it, but there will be a portion of people that can. And I think that's largely maybe true. Yeah,
I think so too. Like you can change yourself and like grow into a new person who has different ways of thinking. Yeah, for sure.
Did you have to reprogram yourself in any way, or were you always like that?
I mean, of course. I think within the entrepreneurial journey, there's so many like different stages, and you always have to learn new things, but also unlearn things, right? Remove like behaviors and ways of thinking that you had for such a long time that you got installed, kind of like growing up and stuff. Of course.
Yeah. Okay, just moving past this genetic thing. So for anybody like coaches out there, what would be your advice to them to scaling their business? Maybe they have knowledge or expertise in their mind and they want to monetize it online. What would be your advice to them?
Depends on the situation that they're in, right? You mean that are starting from scratch, or people who are already...
like let's say they are really good at fitness, getting a six-pack, right? And they want to, instead of personal training people, they want to go online and go to the masses. What would be your advice?
Interesting example that you're taking now, because I have a personal trainer and he's doing the exact same thing right now, right? He's right now kind of like stuck within the offline world, right? He has like a lot of in-person clients and he wants to go online and wants to get online clients so that he can like free up his time. So like whenever I train with him, we also speak about building an online business and how to do it and everything. So I think number one is you have to kind of figure out who your dream client is and become really specific about it. And you have to choose the right avatar, right? Because if you choose the wrong one, then you will have always a tough time to monetize. Because if you as a personal trainer go out and you'll be like, hey, I'll show you how to get in shape, how to get ripped and everything, then you're in such a red ocean, because there's already like thousands of online, like personal trainers online who do the exact same thing and you compete with them, right? Plus number two, everybody wants to get in shape. The 16-year-old, the 18-year-old, the 50-year-old, everybody wants to get in shape. And then you will maybe also attract a lot of broke people, right? And I think it's always good to, first of all, go high ticket. I wouldn't recommend anyone to go low ticket. So you number one, high ticket. And then you need to ask yourself the question, who is the dream customer that can pay for this, right? So when you think about it within the fitness thing, what I told him to do is like go very targeted and be like, hey, I will help busy entrepreneurs get in shape even while traveling, right? Because, you know, many people have a hard time staying in shape while traveling. I know it for myself, from lots of friends and this and that. So I was like, okay, go super specific, entrepreneurs, busy entrepreneurs who are in general, like people who earn a lot of money. I will help you how to get in shape. High ticket offer, it needs to be really good, structured in a great way, lots of deliverables, like with like accountability, weekly calls, you know, even when they go into the gym, maybe, you know, you have some coaches who go like live on Zoom with them and help them, video coaching program. And then I told them, hey, you need to make sure that you're on a blue ocean. When you think about fitness all the time and getting ripped and whatever, like so many people teach about it. So something needs to be unique about his opportunity, right? And there's, for example, one guy in Germany, his name is Nikita, and what he does is he's also kind of like a fitness coach, but not fitness coach, he's like a hormone coach, right? So he knows like all the hormones, this, that, like how to boost your testosterone and this and that, and like everything. He can read blood tests. And with that, by positioning his whole offer within this hormone space, like it's unique, it's a blue ocean. Not many people are doing it, but the end result is the same. You know, he teaches people how to get in shape, how to lose weight, this, that, but he's in the blue ocean. He created his own market and basically doesn't have many competitors. So that's what I told this guy to do too, right? High ticket offer, choose the right client and the right avatar, and something needs to be unique about the way how you get people results, right? It can't be the normal way. Otherwise, you have too much competition. And then number 3 or number 4 is actually you need a great funnel. And for that, I would just copy what works. There's so many different funnels. You know, he is now, for example, building a website and this and that, and I don't know, wants to give out freebies and everything. But I would just go with something that works. The funnel that we've seen does the best over and over and over again for ourselves, for clients, for business partners, is a typical like free case study funnel. Opt-in page, you have a free case study, 30-minute case study, where you introduce yourself, give advice, you go through clients' case studies, and then you pitch for a call, and then you have a book a call funnel, and that's it.
Yeah, well, that's super specific, man. That's good. Do you think, I've heard this from, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about people who go very specific on their target audience. And do you think that harms when they're trying to go organic? Because then the reach wouldn't be as big. Would you rather the guy go broad and then within the pool of people would be his target audience?
I mean, when it comes to Instagram, when it comes to content, you need to have different types of content pieces. We spoke about it before the podcast about your content a little bit. You right now have very specific content, and it probably doesn't get tens of thousands of views, maybe like 3, 4, 5, 10,000 sometimes, very specific. So also when it comes to Instagram, you need different types of content. Some of it needs to be like top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. Some of it needs to be like super viral, that gets millions of views, right? And it brings people to your profile, it brings the attention. And then you need to have something that's like, I don't know, like kind of in the middle, and then something super specific that's like your blue ocean, your vehicle, hormones, this, that. So you need some sort of content to kind of like not bait people, but top of funnel that gets views for sure.
Yeah, but what do you think about people that say views is not money?
Yeah, it's true. But yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, generally, the more views you have, yes, the more money you'll make. But if you only have viral stuff that's super unspecific, then of course it won't work. It all needs to follow this like red line. And if you don't have that, it's of course not going to work.
Okay, yeah, I got that. That's good advice. Okay, so that's for a coach, right?
Yeah.
So they have knowledge and expertise to monetize. Well, how about for a beginner? Last time we talked about theme pages, right? And when it comes to theme page, what would you recommend a beginner do when they just want to start out with Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think it's realizing that building a following and building a brand online, I personally think the best thing that you can do in 2024 and 2025. And it's literally like one of the only ways to kind of like make money online. Because when you think about it, everything else Ty talks about it will get replaced, right? By AI, et cetera, it's super competitive, low profit margins. And when you think about all the people that you see online who have a big brand, right? What are they doing? Like Andrew Tate, Imagazi, et cetera, they have a brand, they have a following. So what I would do and what I would advise beginners to do is learn content creation, right? And learn how to build a following online. Because once you have a following, once you have a brand, you will like always be able to make money, right? And you can do it faceless with theme pages. And if I was starting from scratch, I would just set up the theme page, choose a good niche. Many people, they do mistakes when it comes to choosing the niche. They go into something random. For example, today, I was talking with a client. She wanted to go into the green environment niche or something, but you will have a tough time monetizing. So I would go into like business niche, finance niche, mindset niche, fitness niche is also good.
Yeah, health, wealth, relationship. Yeah,
exactly. The typical like big markets. And you set up the theme page, you go into the niche, you do market research, right? You find, 15, 20, 30 big accounts from the niche. You check it on this website called Social Blade, or, we're launching our own software. It's called SM Suite, right? You put them in there, you see how fast the pages grow. And then the software will show you like the top performing content. And then you just take a look at them. And there's a saying from Tony Robbins, which is like, hey, to be successful, you only have to find someone who has already achieved what you do and copy what they do, right? Basically copy what works. Tai Lopez also says it, like, good artists copy, great artists steal. So I would just go straight to the top from the people of your industry, take a look at their username, logo, bio, highlights, content, and just copy it, but in your own way, put your own style to it. And then you just start posting content. 90% of your energy should go into content creation. Most people, they do the mistake. They worry about small things like posting time, hashtags, how long the caption is. But the only thing that really matters is the content. So become really good at content creation. Put out 1, 2, 3 content pieces per day. And if you do it for 90 days, let's say 365 days, and every day you improve and you get better at content, I guarantee you after a year, you will probably never ever have to work in your life again, right? Because with social media and the way how the algorithm works right now, if you have great content, like one content piece can blow up and literally gain you, 1 million followers. We had a client recently had one reel that brought him like 1.2 million followers in a month. It went super viral. Yeah. So if you have good content, you can build an audience. And then when it comes to monetization, affiliate marketing, just sell someone else's product, easy.
Yeah, is affiliate marketing better than shoutouts? Like selling shoutouts to people?
I think so, because shoutouts and requests, you will only really get them when you have like 100, 200,000 followers. But with affiliate, you can even monetize when you have less than 10,000 followers.
Yeah, for sure. High ticket products?
It depends on the niche that you're in, but generally I would say high ticket, but low ticket also works for sure.
Or at least a low ticket that has a high ticket backend.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't recommend people to sell products with like $7 and that's it. Yeah. You must have a value ladder.
Exactly.
As like Russell Brunson says. What do you Are you identifying anything new in terms of Instagram, in terms of getting views in the last 6 months?
Yeah.
I don't know whether you follow the head of Instagram, Mosseri, is that his name? Right? Everybody was like hammering him about the reach nowadays. It's like super down.
Nah.
Or do you feel like,
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the reach is better than ever before. Like, to give an example, our personal brand, like we never put extreme focus into content, right? But our personal brand is like growing 1,000 followers per day organically right now.
Crazy.
We've had so many clients recently, like go from 0 to 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 1 million followers. Like one of them, I told you, like grew 1.2 million followers from one post in like 30 days. So organic reach is definitely there. Instagram is competing versus TikTok, versus the other platforms. So they have to give the creators organic reach. Otherwise, the creators will just go away, right? So if you have great content, organic reach is bigger than ever before.
Do you think there's a difference between posting reels on Instagram and like posting on TikTok?
To be honest, we don't really do TikTok that much. We just focus on Instagram. Yeah.
Was there a reason? Because you could just take your short form and put it on TikTok as well, right?
We do that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets some views, sometimes not.
So it's not a thing you think about, like TikTok?
No.
At all?
No.
Interesting. Okay. Because I thought like everyone is like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. Like they just post all three. Yeah. And I've seen people like blow up on TikTok instead of like Instagram. I'm not sure whether you've seen people like that. But is the algorithm the same? Do you think?
The algorithm, I think, for all of the social media platforms is the same. Good content. That's the only thing.
Good content, quality content. Yeah. Do you think posting 3-5 times a day helps, or?
If the content is good, yes.
So if it's quality over quantity?
For sure.
Okay, interesting. I was listening to Alex Hormozy the other day, and he said, do more. Yeah. That's literally what he said.
Of course, do more, right? But you need to keep the quality up. Like if you have shitty content, you just post 5 times a day, it's not going to help you, right? You need good content. And we see it for our clients, right? We work with thousands of people from all around the world. There's sometimes people, they just post like 3 times a week, but their reels and the content is like on point. Yeah. And then it goes viral and it works really well. Another example, there's this page, or there's this guy who owns like a network, it's a couple of pages, total 7.4 million followers. And he started like 1 year ago. So he went from 0 to 7.4 million followers in 1 year. Some of the biggest pages on IG within the business space, he wanted to sell them, right? So that's why we started talking. And he was only posting like, I don't know, also like 2 or 3 times a week. That's it.
Wow. But he has good quality.
Good quality content, yes.
Good quality content. When you say good quality content, does that necessarily mean the editing has to be very good, or do you think it's more about what you say?
I mean, it depends. Both, yeah. Both.
Could it be just take a selfie video and you talk and it goes viral?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that counted quality content?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
When what you speak into the camera is quality and it hooks people, it's structured the right way, there's no unnecessary information inside. When the watch through rate is high, of course it can go viral, for sure.
Gary Vee said, always think about what's in it for the viewer.
Yeah.
Do you believe in that?
Yeah, for sure. You need to think about the way how the algorithm basically works is it tracks how much time a user spends. Like, I think that's the main metric. Of course, nobody knows it exactly, but I think the main metric that Instagram is looking for is how much time does a user spend on XYZ post, right? So if you have a reel, it's 10 seconds long, and on average, people watch it like until 90% of it will go viral, right? Yeah. But if they just watch 1 second and then they leave, it will not go viral, right? So watch time, for sure, for posts, for slideshows, for reels, for everything. And then, of course, if you can make it likable, that a lot of people press the like button or the share button or the save button, it helps even more. Okay,
for sure. Okay, so watch time is like number 1, right? And then it comes the engagement stuff, like likes and comments and shares and all this stuff. Do you have like, would you rather someone says in his call to action, like, follow me for more, comment below, click in link in bio, which one would be your top pick of all the call to actions?
For what goal?
That's a good question. I mean, I can always say sales, right? Yeah. But, sales, or you can always say like, you need followers, you need engagement first, you need leads.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to optimize for sales, I'll go straight to the point and do a call to action with comment that then triggers like a ManyChat automation, or like we use an AI, for example, that triggers something and then gets someone to the funnel. So comment then. Yeah.
Comment, yeah. Okay. So you're like a theme page expert.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had a 16-year-old son and he came to you and said, Dad, I want to be like you, I want to start an online business, what would you tell him? Give him the whole blueprint.
Yeah. I mean, I would say start a theme page or start building a following online, because attention is a new currency, and once you have it, like, you will always be able to make money. That's number one and the most important thing to understand. Plus, it's free, right? Many of the online businesses that you can start in today's world, like dropshipping, Amazon FBA, or YouTube automation even, they require you, I don't know, like $5,000 in upfront cost.
Yeah.
So I would start something for free. I would go straight to the top and to the best vehicle, which is building a following, right? All the people that you see online who talk about Amazon FBA, dropshipping, and I don't know, affiliate marketing and this and that, they make most of their money by, having a brand, by having a following, a personal brand. But the cool thing is with theme pages, yes, you can do it without showing yourself. So start a theme page, select a niche, do market research, find 15 great accounts, and just kind of like model their content. Start posting, you'll get followers, you will start growing, then get into affiliate marketing, go to marketplaces like Digistore24, JVZoo, or Copecard, find a good product that fits into your niche, promote it within the stories, within the DMs, within the highlights, within the feed. And when you have great content, it will grow your account, you will send traffic to the products that you're promoting, and you will start making money, for sure.
So would you recommend him to also start a personal brand
Yes.
on the site?
Yes, because I think in the future, like Thijs has it, for example, the only two things that will exist in the future is AI products and softwares and businesses, or personal brand. Because with a personal brand, you don't have competitors. Like AI can't destroy your personal brand. Humans are still looking for something personal.
Yeah.
So I think one of the best things you can do if you want to get ahead in life is start a personal brand, for sure. So many of the connections and even business opportunities that I have now is through the personal brand. And yes, of course, at the beginning, it takes you, maybe you need to jump over your inner, something holds you back because maybe you don't want to show yourself online. It's like weird at first and everything. And you're thinking about like, hey, what will other people think about me? Not everything in life has to be easy, right? And for me, at the beginning when I first started, it also wasn't easy to start the personal brand, right? I was thinking like, hey, what will other people think about me? When they see this and that, and like people from school and whatever. I started a personal brand. I started documenting my journey, when I was like, 17 or something. And at that point, I wasn't making any money. I just started documenting everything, and it was one of the best decisions for sure that I made. So yes, I would recommend everyone do a personal brand, or at least another undercover personal brand.
What's the undercover personal brand?
Undercover personal brand, yeah. It's like it's an interesting word. I'm not sure if you can call it like this. But there's many people who build a personal brand, right? They, for example, there's one guy in the German space. He doesn't have this typical theme page content. It's like a personal brand. He does storytelling, does that, Q&As. People basically know everything about the person, what he does. He shares a lot of personal stuff, but he does it without showing himself. So his profile picture is like his face, but then there's a mask on it, right? In the content in the feed, he shows his life, but just like switches the camera and doesn't show his face, right? And he still has a very strong brand, and he's making, like $500,000 a month with that brand. Because, I tell my clients always, if you want to make money online or with Instagram, there's three things. Number one, build a following. Number two, turn your followers into true fans, build a brand. And then number three, sell. What most people forget is step number two. They don't turn their followers into true fans, right? And you can do that by building a personal brand, but also you can do it without showing yourself. It doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Oh, crazy. So you can do it faceless.
Yeah.
I would think it will be harder to get people to like you that way.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Maybe to like you, but the curiosity factor is way higher, because people come to your profile and they're like, who's this guy? Like with a mask or something. Who doesn't show himself. So it has its pros and its cons.
I've seen some, this was on TikTok or Instagram, like some guys, they have like a mask on.
Yeah.
This guy just puts like chewing gum. Have you seen it? Or like the mask.
Yes, I've seen him.
Yeah. And then he just he talks about making money online and stuff like that, and have the anonymous voice going on.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a brand as well, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just nobody knows who he is.
You remember it.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
You remember him, so of course, yeah.
Yeah. So he's winning. Okay. So I wanted to move towards like business relationships, because I was on the call with a client the other day, and he was talking to me about going out and finding a business partner. And I have a business partner, you have a business partner. So what are some things you would tell someone to look out for in terms of finding a partner in business?
It's a good question. So number one, I think at least it didn't really work for me that way, but actively going out and searching for a business partner is kind of weird, right? Like where like in this position, I want to have a business partner, right? I think you first need to become, great yourself and then you will automatically attract great people into your life. And then those doors with business partnerships, they open up naturally, right? And it just like kind of like comes with the flow. And when it comes to partner, you want to be able to read people, right? Or not read people, but know like basic stuff. So for example, at the beginning, we talked a little bit about psychology, right? And this quiz from Ty test for like narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy. So in business, I'd be kind of like careful with those things, right?
And make them do the test.
For sure, for sure. If it's someone that you don't know for a long time, for sure. I would test for narcissism, because if someone's super high narcissism, you will have a tough time working with them. It's just going to be annoying, right? Machiavellianism, maybe for a long time everything goes well, but then when there's some disagreements or something, it might not turn out well, right? So I would for sure test for that, and I would probably, like Ty has this rule, like before you start a business with someone, know him at least for 1 year, because time reveals character and everything, right? So, and when it comes to business partnerships, I would probably look someone, maybe one advice, who, if you really want to do something long term with him, who's kind of like within the business world, the opposite of you, right? So to give you an example, with my business partner, Luca, and we've been running the business together for like, 5 years now or something. He is really good at what I'm not good at. So for example, he's doing a lot of the tech stuff, tracking, Zapier automations, setting up UTM tracking, first source, second source. Now he's setting up like server-side tracking, right? Like we build our own hires within like a week, right? And he can just do that. Like he's genius at it. So, but I have no idea. But he, for example, he couldn't speak on stage. I can speak on stage in front of, hundreds or thousands of people. Like it's fine for me, right? I can do it. He couldn't do it. So the synergy is really good.
Yeah, it's a different skill set. But same vision. That's what I always say.
Exactly.
And but Luca was like your childhood friend. Right? Did you, when you went into business with him, was it smooth already?
What do you mean smooth?
Like, was it smooth? Like, did you guys disagree a lot? No, it was like
zero.
So
we never had a fight, big disagreements, nothing. Zero.
Crazy.
For 7 years.
Was it? Do you think it's because you knew him for a long time?
Yes, of course. Also, and I think we're both like very, I don't know how to say, but like agreeable people. Like we're easy and nice to be around. Right. So, like we are both pretty chill, right? And when we have disagreements about things in business, like it can of course happen where we have different opinions, but we like talk it out in a normal way, right? And this is where it goes back to like what Ty says, like narcissism. If you have two like super narcissistic people, they just start fighting, right? And they go crazy, and like on the smallest thing, they just go nuts, and then they fight and whatever. So that's not the case for us. It's super chill.
Me and Phil are also similar. Like, so he wanted to be like face. Like he was always the face of the brand, and I was thinking, okay, I can do on the back end stuff, creating offers, copy, funnels, all this stuff. And then I created an agency out of it. And then he's the one that convinced me to go on camera. Like he's the one that said, he's the one that said, you should start now. You should do this. Personal brand is like the future. Ty Lopez also said it. And then I was also...
How was it for you? Did it take you like a lot of convince, like did it was a big step for you going on camera?
It was a big step for sure, because I didn't want people to know who I was online, like my friends, my family, and stuff like that. But
I think almost everybody has.
And then after a while, you just think, to be honest, if you don't say anything, people won't know. Because they're not in that space. It's very rare that they will find you, to be honest. It took a while before my friends found out, actually.
And then was it a bad experience when they found out? No. Right.
No.
People. I think at the beginning I was also so worried about it and this and that, and I was thinking, hey, what do other people think about? I don't know, my Instagram, the personal brand. We are selling a lot, right? What do they think? And the thing is, I don't think that people don't really give a shit, right?
No, they don't.
They don't, right? They don't care. They have their own stuff going on. Everybody has their own life, right? Thinks about themselves and not so much about other people. So
they might only think about it for like that 1 second when they see it, and then that's it, right? Oh, it's he's just doing this on the side, like he's just doing that. They don't really care. But anyway, back to the partnership, right? So Philip was very good at that. I was good at the back end stuff. And we had disagreements. Like Philip is a very high energy guy, right? So we had disagreements, but we never fought. And I always told people, like, the true test of the business partnership is not when things are good. It's when it's down.
For sure.
Like we had times where we nearly went to zero, and we never fought over money. So that's when I knew like we had a very good, stable relationship. Do you agree with that?
For sure. When everything is good, everything is good.
Right?
Everything is going to be cool. But yeah, true character comes out when things don't go well.
Exactly. Like the trust, the loyalty.
Yeah.
You'll see whether they stick with you or not.
Yeah.
And I think you have to know the guy for quite a while.
Yeah.
To know whether this guy will actually flip on you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I have friends that I would never do business with.
Yeah.
Not acquaintances, basically. Because I know what they're like when things are down.
Yeah.
And when they start blaming people, that's when you know that guy. You cannot trust that guy for a business partnership. Yeah. Because it always starts from you, right? You blame yourself, and then you both blame yourself, and then you both work through it together. Yeah. That's how I would get a business partnership. Do you think there are certain skill sets that at least one of the guys should have? One of the business partners?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it depends on, of course, what business you want to build, but I guess we talk about marketing and building an online business. So I think it depends what kind of online business you build. When it comes to personal branding, of course, you need someone who's ready and willing to be the personal brand. I think marketing is always the most important skill. Yeah. So understanding sales, understanding psychology, understanding
copywriting,
how to build offers, how to copywriting, things like this. And then, I mean, for Luca, me, it works perfectly like this. Like, I'm the personal brand. I know that stuff. I build all the funnels, the offers, this, that, like the big picture stuff. I craft like the copy and things like this, and work out like all the big picture things, like all the elements and how they work together. And then Luca puts it together. He does the tech stuff, the tracking, this, that, all the stuff in the background, puts all the pieces of the puzzle together. And this combination works for sure really well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the perfect combination.
Yeah.
Tech. It's like Russell Brunson, I think. His
Todd Dickerson.
Todd. I think he's also the tech guy. Yeah. Right. So everyone has that guy behind. Yeah. I think Tai Lopez. He said a lot of people talk about the number. Was it Tai Lopez or Patrick Bet-David? I'm not sure, but there's always this number one guy, and then people think he makes a lot of money. And then Patrick Bet-David, he said, people don't think about the number two guy. Number two guy also makes a lot of money in the business. Number two could be the business partner, or it could be the next one in line that does all the back end stuff that people don't see. And people think you always need to be the number one to make a lot of money, but you can be the number two. Yes. Like Luca makes a lot of money as well, isn't it? Yeah. But nobody really knows who he is. No personal brand, nothing.
People have no idea who Luca is.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And it's possible to be that person as well for our business.
Yeah. Many people also think when they are at the beginning of their journey that they have to become an entrepreneur. No, you fucking don't, right? There's so many. I tell people always now, at the beginning, when I started my journey, I always thought like entrepreneurship is the only way, right? You need to become an entrepreneur, start your own business. But I don't think so. I was speaking to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago in Germany, and he asked me for advice, like, what should I do? I'm stuck in my 9-to-5 job, this and that. What should I do? And I told him, should I start my own business? And I was like, from the beginning, probably not, right? But change the vehicle that you're in, like go into the online world, because offline world versus online world, it's so different, right? It's two completely different worlds, the way how they work, but also how you get paid. In the online world, you get paid way more, right? You can become a sales rep, for example, do closing, and you get a 10% commission. You can make 15-20 grand a month. You can do appointment setting, earn $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 per month. You can work from anywhere in the world. Like this whole online world gives you more time and location freedom. You can usually do it from anywhere in the world. You can earn more money. Of course, you can become an entrepreneur yourself and build your own business, but you can also like just work for a good company, right, within the online world, get paid a lot, or you can become an intrapreneur, like learn a skill that's super valuable for business owners in the online world. And there's so many things. I don't know, copywriting, email marketing, being able to set up text, Zapier, being able to do funnels, design, content creation, appointment settings, sales, closing. There's hundreds of things, and if you become really good at one thing, you can go into any business basically, and you will always make probably more than what a doctor does in the real world, in the offline world. So advice would be go into the online world and do something there.
Intrapreneur, that's a good word, man. Like our company, the most paid one is the tech guy, and we said this, like, no matter what, we cannot let him go. Because if he goes, that's it. He built the whole infrastructure for the tech, the Zapier. If you ask me, I was like, I'm not going to do that. So you're right. There are some skills that you just cannot replace. I mean, you can. It's hard to replace. That's what I mean, right? And if the guy has built your business for a year, you're not letting him go.
How much are you paying him? I think we can say, right? 15K a month? More even. Oh, wow.
25.
Wow.
Yeah.
25K for tech.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Tech and CRM, but
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
But it's an important thing to keep the business running, right? And everybody can learn this tech stuff. So I think, like, kind of know your, not everybody, know your personality, like what you're good at. If you're naturally good at tech, right? Learn this tech thing for online things. Just move from the offline world into the online world. Learn tech, do it for an online business. You will make way more than in the offline world. You can travel the world all the time.
Yeah.
You have way more freedom. You get to know cool people, right? If your personality is a little bit different, if you're super social, okay, learn appointment setting, right? Or learn, I don't know, HR, right? If you are good at design, learn graphic design. You know, I know designers making 15, 20K a month too, because they are super good at design. They design Facebook ads, product mockups, this, that, sales pages, things like this. So yeah, that's actually, I think, a good advice for any beginner. Move from the offline world into the online world.
Yeah, I think makes sense. And a lot of these entrepreneurs online, they're actually freelancers.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they just work on their own. They say they have a business, but they're actually freelancing because they still do all the work.
Yeah.
So that could be you, because that you can bring your skill to the market, but anything you do, you need to aim for the best, because then you're going to be paid a lot of money. If you think it's just going to come in and you learn the skill for like 2 days or something.
But to be honest, it can also be in a pretty chill way. My friend, for example, Yannick from high school, he's also a childhood friend, one of my best friends, like best friend with Luca basically. So he's making $10,000 a month, and he's working like 2 hours a day, right? Maximum, like maximum, right? And what he's doing simple things. He now has like a small team. He hired people from the Philippines, right? Everything's basically automated. He sells shout-outs on Instagram pages. He does customer support for like, I don't know, 6-7 different businesses. When there's failed payments, he reaches out to the customers, gets a little commission, right? So making 10K a month, working 2 hours a day, like it's
I want you to tell the story of Yannick in school as the debt collector.
The debt collector, yeah, it's a different story. Not for the podcast.
That was a good story.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, so you've achieved success at a very young age, right?
Yeah.
How do you maintain the healthy mindset and not burn out?
Yeah. Good question. I think it's, first of all, I think for everyone it's like this, at least for most people. I didn't really get to know anyone where it wasn't like this. When I first started my entrepreneurial journey, I thought everything is always going to be linear, right? It's always going to be good, just going up and this and that. And also your mental state is always just like straightforward, right? And the same. But I don't think that it is. There's ups and downs, right? For me, especially at the beginning of my journey, you know, it was up. I hit to give you an example, I hit my first $100,000 a month, and then boof, it crashed. Like also mentally, I had so many questions like, hey, like why do I even want to make so much money? Right now I have 100K a month, but am I happy? And those questions come up, right? Like deeper questions. At the beginning, money was the only goal, but then you have the money, you have it for like 2, 3, 4 weeks. You go to fancy restaurants, this, that. I bought my first watch then in 2020, right? But then questions, and then I realized like, hey, for whatever reason, I'm now not happy anymore, right? And then because kind of like the game was over, right? The game was like a video game. You have this thing that you want to achieve, 100K a month. You achieved it, but you didn't have any other goals beyond money, right? And then it kind of like mentally it crashed. And I was like, hey, for what am I doing this, that? I became super lazy. For 3 months, I was eating pizza, this, that, playing video games, was up until 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 a.m. in the night. Literally, I went to bed at 9 a.m. And then I ordered pizza at like 8 or something, and I was super fucked up, slept until 5, played video games, and I didn't have any motivation anymore for the business, nothing, zero, right? And it happened at 100K a month. It happened later on when I hit like, I don't know, 500K a month, right? Even beginning of this year, for the first time, it basically was beginning of this year, I took kind of like 3 months off and wasn't working at all, right? Because end of last year, we had like record month after record month after record month. I made more money than ever before. Investments went well. I made a shit ton of money, right? And then also questions again came up. Like, now I'm at a point where my net worth is a point. If I just put everything into an investment portfolio, I can just chill. I could just fuck off, right? And live my life, travel, this, that. I would be good to go. And then you ask yourself questions like, hey, for what? Because running a business, we now have 25 employees, it can become pretty stressful, right? And when there's a lot of things on your plate, everybody wants something from you. Our payroll every month is just $100,000, right? Like for employees, for software, this, that, over 100K. Right, and it's a lot of pressure that's on your shoulder. I have investments. I have those villas in Ras Al Khaimah. In total, it's like one of the villas is 22.5 million dirhams. The other one is 12 million dirhams. I don't own them 100%, but in total, it's like close to 20 million dirhams that I have to pay. It's also a lot of like pressure that lays on your shoulders. And you have this, you have commitments, you have everything. All the employees, they come to you 24/7. Whenever someone has a problem, they come to you. Right. If I don't push, I need to push. I have responsibilities, and at the beginning of the year, I was thinking, hey, I could just fuck off now, right? Just kind of like retire, live my life. Because I was thinking, hey, there's people making 30K a month, this, that. They do everything way more chill. They just travel the world all the time and I really enjoy it and don't have the stress. Why do I need to go through all the stress, right, and build the business? So questions like this come up, like mentally. And I think it's normal because that's where you get to know yourself and where you become better, right? So yeah, I think like mentally, I think it's normal. Like you just have to realize that there's going to be ups and downs. But yeah, as long as you stay consistent, you will be kind of good to go. And have mentors, right? Mentors help with this a lot. Yeah.
You're 100%. Was there a point, I don't know whether it was last year or 2 years ago, like midway in your business, you crashed? Like to like maybe your income dropped from like 100K to 5.
If I had stuff like this?
Yeah, did you have?
Never.
No, never. So the business never was always upwards?
Always kind of upwards.
Okay.
Of course, not every month. For example, beginning of this year, took time off for 3 months. Right, it didn't crash, but it went down like 10, 20%, this, that, whatever, every month, which is like 10% or something, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it didn't crash, no. Back in the days, yeah, sometimes there was crashes, but not extreme ones from like 100K to 5K.
Yeah.
But from 100K to 50 or something, yeah, like 4 years ago, I had stuff like this.
So when you were starting out, you had like very inconsistent months, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of business owners, they face that, because I faced it as well.
Yes.
And when they see the income drop from last month to this month, how do you get them to bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, what you have to understand, for example, for me, the case was when I was making 100K a month and then the business crashed. The issue was everything was dependent on me. I was kind of like a one-man show with a couple of freelancers, right?
Yeah.
Like doing everything. And then when I go travel, of course, like I'm the biggest bottleneck in the company, right? Then, everything crashes. Raoul Plickert, founder of Copecard, he talked about it on the mastermind, right? He talked about that at one stage, like in the entrepreneurial journey, at the beginning, you will have a couple of years where you will hustle, where you will grind, you will work at night until 4, 5, 6 a.m. But there's many people who never make it beyond that stage, right? Who always have to continue working and working and working, where everything is dependent on them. So what you have to do is you have to hire great people, you have to build a team, you have to build standard operating procedures, where the business also runs smoothly without you, right? So that's important. And when the business crashes from 100K to 50K, what you can do to get it back up, I mean, you have to figure out why it crashed. Usually it's probably traffic, right? You have less traffic, or you change something in the funnel or whatever, right? So if you change something in the funnel, change it back, go back to normal or fix it. Yeah. And usually it's traffic, right? So you have to push more traffic into the funnel again.
Usually it's traffic. But at that time, I remember it's because I changed something in the funnel. Yeah. And then I immediately went back to the old one. And then it went back. I was like, okay, so we just improve on this thing here. We don't change it completely. Yeah, that's what a lot of people need to realize as well. If you have a working machine, don't fix what's not broken. Yes. You can improve it, but don't change it completely.
Always do split tests. Send 20% of the traffic to the new version.
Yeah. Because sometimes I get so excited about this new thing. Yeah. Then you thought this is gonna be way better than the old one.
Not always.
Nope. I just took the hit and I was like, oh my god, it's dying now. Yeah. And then you have to go and revert back. So you're right. I think I should have split test 20% of traffic go to the new page, and then if it converts even better,
then you can do.
Then I can just
slowly.
even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good advice.
For sure. And one good advice is also don't try to perfect everything. If it's 80% perfect, you are good to go. Right, I was on a call with a client, his name is Jay. He's like 19 or something, making 30K a month now. He built a theme page from 0 to 1.5 million followers really fast. He has a personal brand doing amazing stuff. He's now making 30K a month. He doesn't know like so much stuff about the online business world and everything yet, how to hire people, this and that. And he had this VSL and I took a look at it and it was really fucking good, right? And then we were on the first coaching call. We just had the onboarding call a couple of days ago. And he was like, yeah, man, I think I should change the VSL. And I was like, bro, the VSL is super good. It's 80% perfect. Don't change it. There's other things that have more impact, right? Than changing the VSL and getting it from 80% perfect to 95% perfect.
Yeah. So you're asking to focus on other things instead of just fixing the VSL.
Yeah. Always go for the lowest hanging fruits first. If there is low hanging fruits. Yeah.
Yeah. I always tell people if your funnel is converting, pump more traffic until it can't go any higher. Yeah. That's when you can improve. Yeah. Because if it's just a traffic problem, just pump traffic, right? Because if you change something and you put the same amount of traffic and it goes down, then you change it again and obviously split test.
And you lose time, right? If you have a funnel that does for example, 3x or let's say 4x return, right? Yeah. And then you have two options. Number one, you could change the funnel and get it to a 5 or 6x return, or you could just like pump more traffic into it, and you could, spend 200K and make, if it's a 4x return, 800 back. Like, it's better to like just send the traffic, because maybe changing the things in the funnel, if you change something, it comes with so many different to-dos and takes you maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then you get stuck with something else. You change this again, but then you always run away from the most important thing, which is spending money on ads and sending more traffic.
Yeah. I think one way to test is something called a power offer. So it's what I tell my client if they want to change something in the funnel.
Yeah.
Don't change it first. Launch like a simple headline. You talk on the video. You explain what your offer is. Launch it to your list. Mm-hmm. If it sells, then you know you got something working there. Yeah. If it doesn't sell, then screw it. Your main funnel is still there.
Yeah.
Would you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I would, before launching a new offer, I would always test it, right? I also see so many people in the online business world, and for like 3-4 months, they work on an offer, they build the funnel, this, that, they record like 200 video lessons, they launch it, and then, they come to me and they're like, hey, Niklas, I built this funnel, it's not working, right? And I'm like, bro, what the fuck did you build here, right? And I don't think anybody wants to buy this offer. So before you create a product and a funnel and this, that, and put like 5, 6, 7 months of work in, test it first. Like, take something low ticket, ebook, right, whatever, email list, or run a little bit of Facebook traffic to it, or whatever, or your social media audience. See if people buy it, and then if there's some buyers, it shows, okay, people are interested, right? Then go build the whole thing out.
Yeah, because when people build new products and stuff, it's always your offer.
Yeah.
You can test your offer super fast.
Yeah.
Learn that the hard way, right, with Philip as well.
Yeah.
You don't need to build everything out first.
Yeah.
Have a good offer, launch it. If people buy, work on it.
Yes.
Right. There's something called I can't remember, like an early bird kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you just launch it pre-sale, like, hey, it's a discount now, or anything like that. If people buy, good, then you launch it.
Yeah.
If not.
Yeah, to give an example, we did this recently, right? I came up with the idea, hey, let's sell the Consulting Club event recording, right? What we did is just build a simple sales page. It took me like 5 hours to build the whole thing, right? Offer live, we took some simple ads, didn't even record something, videos from the past, put it live on Facebook, bam, profitable. And I was like, wow, profitable, without email marketing, without upsells, without order bump, without optimization of the sales page, without making ads for it specifically. Okay, we have something here. Yeah. Then let me double down on it and like build it out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We talked a little bit about team building just now, right? Raul talked about team building in the Consulting Club. What are some key takeaways from what he said about team building that you can share with the business owners here?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, you have to realize that, yes, at the beginning, you will be the entrepreneur. You will do everything, right? Everything is going to be dependent on you. But if you want to grow past that stage where you constantly have to hustle and grind and this and that and work 10, 15 hours a day, then you need to build a great team, right? I have friends of mine, back in the days, I came to Dubai, they came to Dubai, right? We were doing about the same. And they never got out of the stage where they're in this hustle mode, right? They still have to hustle and grind and do this and that. I could chill now and could run the business with 1 hour a day if I want to, right? Now I want to push further and like reach more of my potential. So I'm working more, but like you need a good team at one point. And then when it comes to hiring, I mean, Ty gave a good advice. If like hire a COO, like an operations manager, who helps you with all the operations, kind of like a right hand, who's an all-rounder at everything. So this is what we did. Of course, it's not going to be the first hire, right? When it comes to hiring, I think just like when you, at the beginning, you're the entrepreneur, you do everything yourself. You then see, hey, fuck, I'm stuck in customer support for 3 hours a day. This can be automated. Okay, create SOPs, hire someone for it, right? Wow, this is a good one. When you build your business, create SOPs from the beginning on, right? There's tools like Scribe, for example. I think that's how it's called. You can just have it as a Chrome extension, or Loom or whatever, right? Whenever you do something, when you do customer support at the beginning yourself, or when you create the content yourself, or when you build a funnel, just record the whole thing. AI will record it, put it into an SOP like Google Sheet or something.
Wow.
And then you have it documented internally. And then you just build this huge stack of internal documentation where when you then onboard people, they can just go through it and don't have to ask you like all the questions, right? So I would build this internal database of how things work, of everything that you do. It's not something that I did. I should have done it from the beginning on. It would have been way easier to hire and train people then. But yeah, do that, and then just naturally, whenever you're stuck in a task, like think about your day of maintenance work and progress work. Of course, some maintenance work is fine, I think, like 2, 3, 4, maybe 3 hours a day. Things that you have to do every day. For example, when you build a personal brand, doing Instagram stories every day. It's something you have to do, right? sure, you could also automate it, but depends on, right, how you want to do it. I have a friend, Ratzman, he's making $1 million a month, you know him also. He's not logged into his Instagram account. His team does all the stories, right? So he automated it.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, for example, that's maintenance work. Every day you have to answer WhatsApp, right? But if your day is full of maintenance stuff, like, for example, okay, every day I have to reply to customer support. I have to reply to my customers. I have to do sales calls. I have to reply to my WhatsApp. I have to do my stories. I have to check all of the numbers. I have to send out an email. I have to check the Facebook ads. And you have like 8-9 hours a day of maintenance work, and you don't have any time to build something new. And then you need to know, or then you basically know that you have to hire people. Yeah. So if it's more than 3-4 hours a day maintenance, I would hire people for it. And it just comes naturally. Yeah.
You know what's the hardest hire for me? Salespeople.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody says this. I never had an issue with it. Never.
What? Training them?
Never.
Bro, tell me your secret, man.
I don't know, but never had an issue.
Are they like motivated on their own?
Yeah.
Like how do you find these salespeople, man?
Through my Instagram, the personal brand. I was like, hey, we're looking for sales rep.
You hired through Instagram?
Yes.
And it's been good for you so far?
Really good.
I've hired an email marketer from Instagram. He's also good. Yeah. But salespeople, man, I don't know. How do you not have a problem with it?
We took a lot of people through the application, right? And many of them are hired myself, and they've been with the company for a long time. But the Instagram story, we probably got like 1,000 replies to it. And out of those 1,000 replies, I went through all of the messages, took a look at their profile, what they said,
Yeah.
And then I had 30 or something on WhatsApp. I let them send me 5-minute, 10-minute voice notes with 10 or something. I did a call. And then we sent them live, right? They did a test week. It was 8 sales reps competing against each other. And then I paid attention to little details, right? How active they are, how, when it comes to little things, like even how do they give the feedback for the calls, this, that, what do the customers say after the call, what's their closing ratio, this, that, how committed they are, do they fill out their sheets? And then I just started working with the best ones, right?
Okay, so you have a process for that.
Yeah, of course.
It's not like you hired and they do you just leave it alone.
Yeah. I leave my sales team alone, basically. Of course, I push them and this and that and talk to them. But
do you have a sales manager?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. No. Do you, what's a good closing rate in your experience?
I mean, it depends, right? It totally depends on the quality and how warm or cold your traffic is. If you go cold traffic, a good closing ratio could be, I don't know, even 20%, okay. Right?
Yeah.
But if you only have warm traffic,
it could 50, 60.
Could be even 80.
Yeah, it could be 80.
I think many people don't have a too low of a closing ratio, but they have a too high of a closing ratio, which then basically means is they let too many leads into the calls, too less leads into the calls. If you have an 80-90% closing ratio, you know that you pre-qualify people too hard. And you could have, from all the other people that could have joined the call, there would have been many more prospects.
Yeah, that over-qualifying people was something I've also heard about, especially in the form and everything. You just disqualify. Yeah. And I think Dan Henry, he said it on the podcast. He said, people don't know the value of your program unless they get on the call.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you keep disqualifying people, they don't know the value of the program, and then you disqualify them. Yeah. But if they come on the call, you can close, obviously not all of them, but certain section of them will be like, actually I can see the value of this program, they buy. But do you have to keep your salespeople motivated and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. When you don't have high standards within the sales team, they are for sure they transition from, I don't know, for example, selling the offer for 5.8K, they start pitching only the 3K one, and it's of course you have to push them.
Yeah. Do you give bonuses? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So what salespeople has not been a problem for you? What hiring positions do you feel like you have a problem with, or I really need this position down in my company right now for it to run smoothly?
Right now?
Yeah.
So we are looking forward to hiring someone in HR who can help with hiring and actually find
that's
those
a big
great
one.
people. We need someone in, I don't know how you can call this position, but finance, someone who just does numbers, right?
Accountant,
but more tools, analyzing all the numbers of the business, this, that, checking expenses, so many different things, and a numbers person we want to have. And then what else are we looking for? Tech guy, because Luca is doing all the tech right now, but he could work on higher level stuff. And sometimes when you build something out, for example, like Facebook ad tracking.
Yeah.
Like if he could focus on the meantime on something else, he could just tell the tech guy, hey, do this and this and this.
Get him like an assistant.
Yeah, exactly. Luca needs an assistant.
Yeah.
Right.
He's doing. Also, there's no one else except him in tech.
No, it's just him.
Killing him.
Yeah, it's just him.
Okay. Yeah, I think he would. I think if you get him an assistant and he works on high level stuff, you could. Yeah, your business will definitely grow, man. 100%.
Because we will just move with more speed.
Exactly. All the mundane stuff, he can just teach the assistant, and then he works on the bigger stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, that's a good one.
Yeah, we're doing that now.
Yeah, that's a good one. But the HR guy, the person, like we have that in the company, saves so much headache.
Yeah.
Like you just tell the person we need one like support staff or one sales guy or something, and then he goes out and do it.
They filter everything. Bro. They do all the interviews. This, that.
Tell
everything.
you, it's a lifesaver, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, so. Yeah, Raul also talked a lot about leadership and how hiring people will affect the business. And then if it's only you have 24 hours. If you're another person, that's 48 hours. Yeah. So if one key takeaway, you should hire. There was mistake I made a long time ago. Like I thought I had to do everything. I thought because there's always part of me that like, oh, then I have to teach this guy. And then what if he fucks up? And then I made a mistake of whenever I hire someone and then he made a mistake, I just do it myself. But you should be helping the guy, training the person. Take the time, it's worth it. Yeah. I don't know whether you went through that, but like I just do everything myself, it's faster.
Yeah, at the beginning I did everything myself.
I also did everything myself. But even after the point of like making enough money, and then hiring someone.
When I was making $100,000 a month, I did everything myself.
Yeah.
Even most of the stuff I was doing at 200 or 250K a month myself. Right. When I hit in 2022, I hit we did like $700,000 with the company, and a lot of the stuff I was doing myself.
Crazy.
A lot of the stuff. Sometimes even the content in the feed. Right. But then I went traveling and crashed a little bit. Right.
And if you had a team,
exactly.
Then it would have
just continued.
The first thing I hired was a customer support man. I'm telling you, fuck it. Like answering all the emails they come in. That's the first one I hired. I was like, that's perfect. Yeah. But also in consulting club, right? Ty, Raul, they talked a lot about conspiracy theories. What's your favorite one, man?
My new favorite one is the one that Raul talked about. About parasites. That one's pretty interesting. I didn't look into it like a lot. But yeah, what Raul told, it's...
Did you look into it more after he said it?
I have one other friend. He also lives here in Dubai. He's from Germany. He is the biggest conspiracy theory guy on planet Earth. Like if you would listen to this and see it, you would even like, what the fuck? It's not conspiracy theories anymore, right? It's real stuff, right? So he has all the theories about like the pyramids, about I don't know, in Europe that they make the sun less, that people get less vitamin D. He thinks the Earth is like a not a
flat.
It's a flat Earth.
That's crazy.
He thinks about like everything, like the most craziest of the craziest conspiracy theories. He believes into it. He did research on it, and he's like, man, look into it. I think it's true.
But that's the problem. You fall into this rabbit hole of like you just believe any conspiracy theory at that point.
But like, he has stuff to back it up for almost everything.
Yeah, he could back up a lot of things.
Exactly, that's the issue.
Yeah. But so the parasites one, right? Okay, explain it to me.
I can't explain it in such a good way. The parasites one.
Just say it, man.
I haven't done my own. Just the stuff that Raul talked about. I have in my mind. I didn't do my own research, so I could repeat what he said now, but
it wouldn't be accurate.
Maybe not. Yeah, exactly. So.
But what is something you think is true?
What is something that I think is true? Yeah, obviously, what we had in 2020, 2021. What means so the thing is about all the conspiracy theories, like the hardcore people, what I think, they think that there's this whole little group in the world, right?
Yeah.
That specifically does this and that, for example, with vaccines and whatever. I'm not sure if it's the case like this. I think a lot of it, maybe it is, I don't know. But maybe it's also just a result of, what's the English word for it? When like in this world, everybody is trying to optimize, like every business is trying to optimize for money, right? Making more money, having higher profit margins, having lower cost. How do you call this type of economy? Do you know the name?
Capitalism?
Yeah, capitalism. Yeah. Maybe all the stuff that's happening and going on is just a result of capitalism. Do you know what I mean?
But that means the main goal of everything is just money.
Not but for example, when you think about what happened in 2020, 2021 with the vaccines and everything, like the result of maybe the result was it's just because of capitalism.
I mean, Big Pharma made a lot of money, right?
Exactly. Maybe it's not like those 5 people up there sitting there and being like, okay, we need to do this and that, and people will have those side effects because we need to lower the population and stuff. Maybe it's just a result of capitalism. So I don't know, but I think all of the conspiracies are interesting. Like also, I don't know, stuff like 9/11 and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely, like also the pyramids. It's
the pyramids one is like one of my favorite one, man. I'm telling you, it's like the most. I think everybody knows the pyramids. Yeah. Then you ask people, do you know how it was built? No.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like just.
Yeah, there's whole documentaries about it when you look into it, like how the fuck did they build those pyramids?
Yeah.
Like everything on point, like perfectly crafted. Those blocks weighed tons and tons and tons and tons of people.
And it was like 500 kilometers away or something like that. And then they could bring it to. And then they also said like the coordinates of the pyramid.
Yeah, they matched like the stars.
Yeah, some shit like that, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of weird things, and there's a lot of like what means proof or like things to question when it comes to all of those conspiracy theories, where I never went like super deep into it, but like friends and stuff are into it. We talk about it a lot. I know them all. I think it's important to kind of like have the awareness for it, right?
I think at most conspiracy theories, they make you think.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of just believing whatever you're told from like media.
Yes.
If you have conspiracy theories, at most you'll be like, okay, maybe there's some truth over here and here.
It teaches you kind of like critical thinking. And I think most people don't have it. A lot of people don't have it. Also, when you look at things, for example, in Europe, right? The press and the news, what they do is, and you know, I've had this discussion a lot with my parents, right? About politics, for example, in the US. And I'm not really into politics, so I don't really give a shit about who becomes the president and who not and whatever. Of course, I have like a little bit of a side that I want to go into, but I'm not extreme into it. But for example, my parents, when they hear the word Trump, they're like, wow, Trump, he needs to go to prison and this and that, whatever. Because the media in Europe, it's like just one way, right? They only show the bad stuff 24/7 about Trump is so bad and this and that and and for example, back in the days, Biden, they only showed the good stuff, right? And then they don't even know the bad stuff about Biden, for example, the stuff that's going on. So the media just shows one side, and it's so extreme, like how people are like brainwashed. It's insane.
That's what they do to a lot of like older generation. My dad, big love for the vaccine, like loves it to the core because of the media. Scientists say this, blah blah blah. I was kind of like, at first I didn't know much about like conspiracy about vaccines and stuff, so I was like, okay, I mean, I'm young. The flu, like COVID, it's like, okay, if you ask me to get a vaccine, I'm like, okay, whatever. But then they started like pushing so hard on the media that this thing will save you.
I think it was so easy to detect, like, obviously something is off. Like for me from the beginning on, like it took like a week or 10 days, and I told with a friend Luke, I was like, something is off here. I'm not gonna get that vaccination. Never.
To be honest, if it was up to me, I wouldn't have gotten it. But in Singapore, I can't say it. But like, and then you kind of get forced into it. Then I think it was the US, one of the scientist guy, Fauci, he said like, you won't get COVID if you get this vaccine. Then after a while, it's like the chances of you getting it is lower.
They changed it like all the time.
They changed it. Then next, you need to get another shot. I was like, bro, what the fuck, man? You just lied to me about putting something in my body. I was like, I'm not getting any more of this shit. Like, that's enough.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like back in the days, for example, in the European media, they were like just showing one side of the story. Like, hey, all the scientists are saying it's good for you, it's good for you, it's approved. Yeah, but what about all the other ones that are saying that this is bullshit and you shouldn't ever take it? They don't show it. They don't show it. Right? Yeah. So.
Did you know? I think Mark Zuckerberg, he came out. He said. He said that people were telling him what to say on Facebook regarding the vaccine and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they censored things.
Yeah, and other things as well. So he admitted to these kind of things. I was like, oh, even Facebook, private company. Not really private, like, because you still have to say what other people have to say, right? So it got me thinking a lot about, and that's actually when I dove even deeper into
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
I never went down this like rabbit hole. I just have a lot of conversations with friends.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
this.
I watch a lot of podcasts. That's why
Yeah.
that's why I have a podcast, because I watch a lot of podcasts, and people were talking about how the media, like, you know, you can never trust it fully. But like my dad, it's because of the media.
Yeah.
That's why he believes it, right? And there's also another interesting thing I found out: the Russia-Ukraine, the war. Did you know in different countries they portray different countries as the good guy? So if you went to China, Russia would be the good guy in the war.
Really?
Yes. And then in the liberal countries like Europe and
of course.
stuff like that, then it'll be Ukraine is the. Then I was like thinking, okay, well, that's weird. Shouldn't it be like one person is the right guy, one is not? But it's not. So you never know the full story about these kind of things. Even now with what's going on in the Middle East, like different countries, different things. And then there was also an interesting thing about German history, I think. It was, I can't remember what it was, but like different countries have different recollection of what happened in the war. I'm not sure what you were told in Germany, but like in America, it's like, oh, how America stopped the war and stuff. And in Germany was like saying how they are the ones that really had the impact of stopping the war or something.
I don't know. I don't know.
Did you learn? Yeah. So anyway, that was just showing like how history was so different everywhere.
There's this thing, like if the news are fake nowadays, right? And if everything is just like one side of the story, it means it was also always like this 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 30 years ago, probably in 30 years, COVID and the vaccines, like COVID will go into like the worst thing on planet Earth that ever happened. It was a pandemic and so many people died. But reality, was it really that bad?
No.
I don't know. But I don't want to say it was harmless or something. Of course, it wasn't nice. But yeah, it will probably, I guess, go into history different than how it actually was, right?
Yeah, even like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, what news you got was basically from one media outlet, right? You get a newspaper, radio in the past, and then people believe that to be true.
And that's the history.
And that's history, right? Yeah, so it's like a lot of things.
A lot of interesting things to think about.
If you really think everything is like black and white, it's really not.
I don't
it's
think
not.
so.
It's not.
It's
There's a lot of things going on.
Black and white. It's always
gray. Yeah, it's always gray.
Tai also says the 67 steps. You know, it's a great program. One of the 67 steps, the lessons that he learned is there's no black and white. Stop thinking black and white. Right? There's no right and wrong. Right? Sometimes, of course, with extreme things, yes, of course. Right? But not always with. There's a middle way often.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
so we want to talk about business. We ended up talking about conspiracy theories.
So let's end it off with like, what's your vision with Consulting Club? Yeah. What is the size you want to grow to? Is there a final evolution of the Consulting Club?
Yeah. I mean, with Consulting Club, as I said at the beginning, I think the entrepreneurial journey is the most amazing journey that you can go on to. Right, full of excitement. You get to know so many great people. You get to know yourself better. You grow as a person. You become so good. You have to learn so many different skills in so many different areas of life. Right, it's not just all about money and like commercial stuff, but you have to also, learn things about. Like most of the entrepreneurs I know, they're also into health, right? They optimize their health. They go to the gym, this, that. They really care about like what they eat, what they drink and everything, about nutrition, right? They have to learn about time management, about this and that, about life hacks, like how to travel correctly, right? So that you can, keep running the business. So I think entrepreneurship, as I said, is the most amazing journey and that you can go on to. And there's so many things that you learn. And I just want to make Consulting Club a space where high-level entrepreneurs come in and everybody just helps each other and shares their life hacks, their business hacks. And we just want to grow it, help everyone who comes, who joins basically, who decides to work with us. Every year we just want to throw this like amazing event. Right. Maybe at one point it's going to be at a different location, but this villa in France is amazing. We just want to bring the best of the best people of the whole industry to that event. I think this year we did a pretty good job with the quality and the level of people that came there. Raul Picard, founder of Copecard, Tai Lopez, who made over $900 million in revenue in 1 year. We had the guys and the founders of WAP, the payment processor over there. They processed over $500 million, have Peter Thiel as an investor, Laura, the CEO and new owner also.
Laura is a powerhouse, man. Yeah, she's good.
She's really good. She's been running JVZoo for like 13 years or something, grew from 100 million to over 3.5 billion in sales. Simon, who ran ads for Agora Finance. Ratzwan, he's 22, making $1 million a month. Philip made $27 million last year. just people like this, right? There's this tax guy who knows everything about taxes. He's now even helping Ty. I connected him with Ty. He's helping Ty set up some structures, right?
Yeah.
He was there, like super high level people, and we just every year want to throw an amazing event where it's not just all about like business and like strict, very strict, but it's like you have talks and speeches and this, you learn a lot, but then there's a lot of networking. It's chill. You know, we were hanging out until like 3, 4, 5 a.m. at the night. Having talks with Ty. So yeah, we just want to have this cool atmosphere where everybody comes every year, and it's just like a highlight of the year where you learn something but also have a great time and get to know great people, and where it basically changes the whole, like, at least for me, for example, like, and for many of the people that I spoke with, there was the event, and now they're just implementing so many things throughout the next couple of months from the event, right? So we just want to do it every year, and I don't know, just create cool stuff, man.
Did you double the attendance rate from last year? Was it double?
Yeah, first year was about 35, 40 people. This year it was over 70 people.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Okay, hopefully next year 140 people. I don't know how you're going to fit in the villa, but...
we have to get a bigger villa.
Yeah.
But then it's going to be expensive. This villa was 10K a night. No, 12.5K a night. Yeah.
Wow, but it's it's like a castle.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it's like a castle. Yeah. But who is like one guest that you really want to come to Consulting Club?
That's a good question. To be honest, like for the longest time ever, always Ty, and also next year I hope Ty is coming. Like he is probably, with one other guy, you know, I had my first mentor. He's kind of like offline now.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows him. But this guy and Ty, they are the two people that I learned the most from, that I got the most inspiration from and everything. So Ty has always been the guy who was like, hey, if he comes to the CC event, which he did the last 2 times, that's amazing. But someone else...
You've read a lot of books, watched a lot of videos from other people. There has to be someone. Russell
would be cool, for sure. Russell also, I learned a lot from him. Russell would be amazing, yes.
Yeah.
That would be sick. Yeah, we have to try that for next year.
Yeah, try to get Russell Bronson, that would be cool. Yeah. He's a very good speaker.
Yeah.
Russell, Alex, he's huge. I don't know. Yeah.
I never related that much with Alex, to be honest. I read his books, it was amazing, but I never took
his books are good. I think he's more, but he's very like work, right?
Yeah,
do more.
Yeah, that's not me.
Yeah, that's not you.
Sometimes yes, but
no, but I think in general that advice people need to hear, because if you ask most people, they need to do more.
Yeah, true. Most people are lazy.
Most people need to do more, right? So it's good advice for the general public, but maybe for someone like you, do more is not applicable anymore.
Like his books and everything were amazing, but his YouTube content, I don't know, it never clicked with me. I know many high-level entrepreneurs who like every week they watch the content, they are so excited about it. For me, it's not Alex. Like I am just excited about Ty's content. He talks about life in general, psychology, this, that, how to optimize your life. Like that's what I'm excited about. Yeah.
So has he optimized your life, Ty?
For sure. I mean, so I paid him $100,000 to privately mentor me, and I think it was the best investment that I ever made, right? Like in the last couple of years, for sure.
If someone watching now, the entrepreneur, is like working 12, 14 hours a day, and you had to optimize their life, how would you advise them to optimize their life?
First thing, what we talked about earlier, you need to hire people, right? If you're stuck in maintenance tasks all the time, 6, 7 hours a day, you need to put it into SOPs, like get this tool, scribe, document everything, do looms, hire great people. You need less maintenance work. Then you have more time to focus on progress stuff, right? And then first of all, you hire people like step by step, so that the stuff, you know, that it takes to run your business is basically not automated, but you have people for it. You train them correctly, everything. Then you have more free time. I would hire a COO at one point, probably when you do like 100K, 200K a month, something like this. Someone who helps you with operations, who works in like all areas of the business. And then when it comes to lifestyle, I think daily routine is super important, right? So for me, what works really well now, every day at 12, I have my training. 3 times a week Muay Thai with a personal trainer, 3 times a week gym. And then I wake up at 8, and the first 4 hours of the day, I just work. I wake up, get coffee, work. And it's like, for me, I have a tough time, when I don't have like fixed meetings, I have a tough time sticking with routines. So if I just had to go to the gym on my own, I would do it for 3 days and then I would just skip, right? Yep. But now with the personal trainers, so you have to know yourself, right? With personal trainers, I have no problem. I'm excited. I just go every single day. So morning I wake up, 4 hours of work, always, and there's not much I can do before. Back in the days when I didn't have this routine, didn't have the personal trainers, I would, for example, sometimes someday, because, you know, as an entrepreneur, you have to manage yourself, right? You have a lot of freedom, but the freedom can also become your disadvantage, right? So for example, back in the days when I didn't have this fixed routine, I would sometimes wake up and be like, today I don't really feel like working. Let me go to this restaurant and go 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. for shisha, right?
Yeah.
So, but now with this routine, it's like, okay, 12 gym before I get 4 hours of work done, then I come back, okay, lunch at like 2 or something, and then after like light work in the afternoon, and then I go out with friends and do fun stuff. Yeah.
When I started the journey, I was like, at the very beginning, I was like working like 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
And, but I made it a point at some point that I needed to still go to the gym, still work on the business, and also hang out with my friends. And I realized productivity didn't go down.
Well,
you can do those 3 things.
For sure.
So, and I think I'm way happier with these 3 things.
For sure.
I think people think, I mean, at some point you have to sacrifice. If you're doing stupid shit all the time, probably. But if you can manage these 3 things that make you happy, even spending time with your family, you can put that all in and still be as productive as ever.
I think, for sure, 100% agree. I think there's, of course, always phases where you just work more. Where there's like, I don't know, 15, 20 days where you have this project, you're super excited about it, and you just work 15 hours a day. You still go to the gym and this and that, but maybe you do a little bit less with friends and whatever and just chill. And I think you can still be happy working a lot. Like I get excitement from work for sure. But yeah, this balance, I think it's important.
Yeah,
sure.
I think balance is super important. People, I think they disregard it, like throw away all your friends, fuck your family, like just work. I think that's really bad advice.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think it's one waste. When you start making money, then you realize it wasn't about the money.
Yeah, I was having this conversation like yesterday evening. I don't play it much, but sometimes, with one of my friends, the guy who's also into conspiracy theories, sometimes we like play a little bit of video games, right? Sometimes. I think in the last 7 years, for like 6 years, I didn't play. Beginning of this year, like with this one friend, we started playing like a little bit, but like not much at all. But yeah, yesterday evening we talked about it, like when it comes to life. Let me ask you the question. So Ty talks about health, wealth, love, happiness, right? What's more important, health or wealth? Like having money or being healthy?
Health.
Yeah, for sure. Right? What's more important, having a social life or having like friends, family, love, romance, or money?
Friends.
For sure, right? So, but I don't know, some people, they just optimize. So the wealth and having money, I agree with it, comes like last basically. But some people just optimize so much for money. They're like, hey, kick out all your friends and your family and this and that. Like, I think so. It's bullshit advice.
Yeah, but I think money makes the other 2 way better.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It was the same exact conversation that I had with my friend yesterday. I think so, yeah. So your health becomes better when you have more money. You can buy better quality stuff, this, that, personal trainer. You can get a chef. Like we have a chef
even
now.
Going to the hospital for treatment.
Exactly.
Money.
Social life becomes better with money. Not always, of course, but if you have great friends,
if you have
and then you have money, you can travel, you can do cool things, right? You don't have to like see, hey, which restaurant do we go?
The level of experiences go up.
Exactly.
Right. And just 10x all the experiences.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think like health and like social life is, of course, way more important than money.
100%, man. Okay, I think it's a good way to end. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.